Hello. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon and welcome back to the afternoon session. Delighted to be here with you. I would appreciate if all of you can, be on the chat box to post your doubts, to share your learning. This is by Delisha. You asked me, will the PDF be uploaded on the website? What PDF? See, whatever I do here is directly from the study material. How does this course help you? I highlight what's there in the study material. I do the question papers with you so that you have a hang of what kind of questions you will be tested and what to write and how to write. You will also get a fair deal of the type of questions. You will also know that in the formal letters chapter, you have circular and memo, and that again has been tested in the past question papers. So this is just what's there in your study material. Just that I'm highlighting each of these, giving you enough language to use when you write a formal letter, not just for the exam, but this is a lifetime learning where you get to learn the language, the kind of effective language that will make your learning, that will make your correspondence really, really interesting and effective. Now, going back to our, the PPT, just give me a minute. Yeah, here we are. So, these are things that you have to be careful about, and that is important. Let's see what these are. Be careful about sending a nasty letter. Even if you are on the right side, you better behave well. Your language has got to be very decent. Avoid the following: name calling, sarcasm. People take liberties in official letters. You cannot do that. You cannot insult. You cannot threat. You cannot get angry, shout. You cannot flatter. You cannot use intimidating type fonts. See, using capital letters unnecessarily will mean you are shouting at them. Okay, the sample letter is on page 10.9. That's in my study material. Mine is a bit older version and yours might be a newer one. Okay, so if Delisha has been asking me about the PDF of the study material, I think you will get it once you register for the exam. Yeah. So this is part 2, official communication, circulars and memos. Let's go one by one. A memo is a letter informing the office. Here is a sample memo informing the office manager about the purchase of furniture. So as a purchasing officer, as a purchasing manager, or as a manager, you need to inform people as to what's happening in the office. If anything new is happening in the office about the purchase of furniture, it may be about new rules, new laws that come by in an office. It may be about somebody is getting promoted or somebody's, quitting the job. It can be anything that way. Official announcements are made through memos. Okay, 10.14 and 10.15 in your study material gives you sample memos. I also have sample memos here to show you the format. Just look at this. Okay, this is circular. Memo will be shown in a second. An effective method of communication as a dissemination to a smaller group of people or to individual people. But a circular is meant for large number of people in an office. It may be about punctuality, it may be about urgent meetings, it may be about visitors or guests, it may be breaking news. So it can be anything that the entire office has got to know about. And that's when a circular is issued. Okay, sample circular. Now this is sample memo. Look at this memo. So you have, usually memos are written in letter pads. So the letter pad already has got the template like this. You have the company name, the address, the website, the telephone numbers, and then you have to, from, date, pages. Memos are within the office mostly, and therefore you don't have a from address and a to address. It's just enough if you have the from and to. And of course, the date, the number of pages that go with the memo. Suppose there are 4 pages, and if you don't mention, people might just think that it's only 1 page and forget to read the rest. So the number of pages are also important. And the number, the memo number, see in an office from the calendar year, say maybe from January to, the December, it's important that you maintain a record, a document of the finances that happen, maybe the petty cash, maybe the checks, maybe the money that comes in, money that goes out. So these are documents that need to be kept safely, and they have to be numbered. So memos in a year, just as finances, they would also check how many memos have gone, for what purpose. So when is the memo given? It's given to individuals when they need to be told specifically, individually, as to what is expected of them, or an announcement that will help them understand what to do. So memo 1, memo 2, memo 3, memo 4. So these are kind of numbers that will let people know how many memos have gone by, say in a year, in a quarterly, in a half yearly or annually. And memos are for individual purposes, person to person or a group of small number of people. So now let's look at this, format. So here, so this is from a letterhead. So you don't have to worry about the address, where to write the address kind of things. It'll already be there in the template. Memo has not been tested so far in any of the previous question papers, but it is good for you to know because this again is an official correspondence. Okay. Now this is the letterhead, and the address is already there. Okay. Set the date is here. You see the date is in full. Spacing above and below the date can vary to make the text fit logically on the page. So you space it. And remember, all correspondence nowadays, the writing tasks are all from the left-hand margin. That's important. And look at the next one. So this is the inside address, the name, the title, and address of the intended recipient. Okay. Dear Ms. Bakley, use a formal title and last name in the greeting. Unless you are close friends with the recipient, follow the greeting with a colon. So the colon is here because this is a memo. In a letter, we put a comma. Enclosed, you will find my final report. So you straight away start off with the purpose of the letter. Okay. Enclosed, you will find my final report on team building for employees at 3 Creeks Spa Service. I am excited to have you review my findings, which include extensive research of strategies that have been successful for other organizations like 3 Creeks. In my informal conversations with some of the other staff at 3 Creeks, I know they're all excited to explore some of these team building activities. If you have any questions about the content in this report, please don't hesitate to contact me either by phone at the phone number above or in person at the shop. I look forward to the opportunity to discuss this with you further. So, oh my God. Okay, so sincerely, the signature is there. Sincerely, the comma is there. And then the name in full. Then the company, 3 Creeks Spa Service Dispatcher. Okay, line spacing. Leave one blank line after the address, the greeting, and each paragraph in the body. After the complimentary closing, sincerely, yours truly, etc. Leave 4 lines as space for a signature, then type the sender's full name and title on 2 lines as shown here. Now, this will hold good for all type of writing tasks. Okay? For all type of writing tasks. And that's what you need to remember and follow. Now, this will hold good for all types of writing tasks. As I said, maybe the mail, maybe the letter. And here, this is a format that is already there in the template. And therefore, it's not difficult for you to remember. Now, okay, so that much for the PPT on formal letters. Just give me a moment and I will run through the pages in your study material because I have that too. I will run through that quickly so that you understand how closely we have been doing the whole lecture is centered around the study material itself. Just give me a moment while you go through your notes. Just a moment. Yeah. I'm just looking at the my study material chapter so that it's easy for you to correlate. Just a minute. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we are. And so I think Delisha asked me about the study material, the PDF of the study material, right? So let me show you the pages from the study material itself so that you understand how quickly, how closely we operate as far as our lectures are concerned. Also, there are a few things that I may not have said because the formats I've always said, look at your study material. So this will help you. Just give me a minute. I'll open your question session. Yeah. Yeah, we are there. Okay. Now, the formal letters and official communication. As I said, official communication is not just letters, it's mails and circulars and memos too. Okay. Here, learners will be able to improve their. So, this is the goal. I hope all of you have heard me and have learnt these. Improve their business communication skills. How did I do that? Gave you enough inputs as beginnings and endings and, the language that you can use while you write your letters. Understand the importance of formal letters in business communication. Become familiar with the various types of formal letters. Explore the appropriate language and format associated with a formal letter. So you will see that we have just done these things. Now, Chapter 10, formal letters. Differentiate between business letters from other formal letters like letter to the editor and job application. They are not the same. They are not the same in view of the language, in view of the purpose of writing it, in view of the number of details that you will cover in a letter. Understand the subject matter carefully and include relevant information pertaining to the issue in the letter. Organize content logically and systematically. Use proper format while writing formal letters. Write letters using appropriate language and style. Practice writing different types of formal letters. So these are the objectives. Now, introduction. Express their ideas clearly. Letters are a traditional and popular method of communication. A letter is a written language which is sent. Letters are communication from one party to another and contains important information. Letters perform the function of bringing friends or relatives closer together, enhancing professional relationships and providing a means of self-expression. There are 2 types of letters, formal and informal, and you know it. Informal letters are to friends and relatives. while formal letters are at workplaces. Formal letters can be categorized into the following: business or official letters for making inquiries, registering complaints, asking for and giving information, placing or cancelling orders, sending replies in response to inquiries or complaints. Letters highlighting civic problems, that is letter to the editor, letters to concerned authorities regarding civic problems, job applications. Okay. So in this unit, we will focus on business or official letters only. Points to remember while drafting the format. Use the specified format. Okay, specified format is the format of the formal letter, is what we've been discussing from the beginning. Leave a line or additional space between paragraphs since no indentation is followed. Indentation we follow only for note making, not for letter writing. State your reason for writing in your first paragraph. So the very first paragraph must let the recipient know why you have written this letter. Your objective while composing a formal letter should be to present the key facts as quickly and as simply as you can. Keep the language simple. Formal does not mean complicated. Use simple language that is easy to read and understand. That's very important. That's the reason why I gave you samples of beginnings and endings. At all times, add details and information that will make the addressee or the receiver task easy. For example, if you're writing to an organization to apply for a job, mention the post you are applying for along with your qualifications and experience. If you are writing to a service center, mention specifics such as model number, year of purchase, invoice number about the product, along with a description of the problem you're facing. If you wish to make a reference to previous letters or conversations, payments, etc., provide details such as date, invoice number, quotations, and check numbers. Always be gentle and courteous while directing the receiver's course of action. Don't forget to be polite, even if it is a complaint letter you're writing. Check to ensure that your letter is free from any mistakes, grammatical or spelling. It's very, very, very important. You cannot have a faulty letter in a workplace. Now, format of a formal letter, we've seen this, but I would like to say it repeatedly because even as adults, plenty of people make mistakes in the format itself. Okay? Sender's address, date in full, designation, then address of the addressee, salutation, subject. Subject placing an order for office furniture, it has to be as simple as that. Content, after going through your catalog, okay, I wish to place an order item for our office. So content must have the introduction, body, conclusion. So the serial number, the item for the following quantity. So these will have to be mentioned. Don't mention 10 different things. Maximum 3 or 4 will do. Otherwise, it will make the letter very long and you will be wasting a lot of time, because even if you write 3, it's just the 5 marks that is fixed. Okay? All the items should be as per the specification mentioned in your quotation. So these are sentences that you can really memorize and use. Substandard material will be returned. The delivery should be made before May 25th. So those of you who are wondering, oh, it's English and these are just letters and articles and reports that we've already done in school, you might be making a mistake if you're not going to really prepare for it. Read through the study material thoroughly well so that you have enough and good language to use in the exam. That's what you need to do the day before the exam, because this is not content oriented where you sit and memorize theories, theorems and formulas, right? Please send the bill after deducting the discount as applicable. As agreed upon earlier, payment of the bill will be made by check in favor of the firm within 10 days after the delivery of items. So these are things that you need to mention when you write a letter. Now look at this, complimentary clause, yours truly or sincerely, then it is signature, then the designation of the sender. Sender's address, the sender's complete address or contact details must be added at the top. If you are making use of the letterhead of the company, then contact details will be present on top of the letter. Date. It is important to add the date because if you want to communicate further, then adding the date can make it easy for you to keep a tab on your letters. Date should be written in full, 24th September 2020. So this is something that I've been repeatedly saying because plenty of us still do not know that this is the standard for global communication. Salutation. The salutation is an important part of a letter and must be added at the beginning. Dear sir or madam. You don't say my dear. My dear is only for informal letter. If you do not know the name of the person you're writing to, use this. However, it is always advisable to try and find out the name of the person you are writing to. If you know the name, use the title, Mr. or Mrs. or whatever, along with the surname only. Subject. The subject is entered immediately after the salutation. It's a brief statement of the issue or matter the letter is related to. It must attract the attention of the receiver and help him understand quickly what the letter is going to be about. Examples: placing an order for library books, application for the post of assistant manager, complaint regarding incorrect billing, inquiry about exchange policy, etc. So this is the PDF of the study material. Now the content. Introduction. The introductory paragraph of a formal letter should always be written in a concise manner. Don't ever think of writing pages. Especially in your BCR, we expect you to write really less. The article or the report is for 250 words, and letter writing, maybe you can stick to 150. You should quickly and simply summarize the point that you want the reader to focus or act on. The sooner you do this, the better. Body of the letter should detail the key points or the message you want to convey. Add all the required details, but don't exaggerate. Official letters, official correspondences have got to be factual and accurate. Do not exaggerate. Use simple language that is easy to read and understand. Conclusion. The conclusion is a declaration of the writer's purpose of writing, expectations from the receiver, what he thinks the next step should be, and further actions that he may take. Moreover, the writer should always hope for a positive reaction or reply and must use terms like thank you, with warm regards before signing off. Now, let me tell you one thing. This thanking you is outdated. We don't use thanking you anymore. We just say thank you. We say thank you only if it is a letter where you thank somebody. Otherwise, thanking you is not the appropriate signing off. Okay? First thing, we don't use thanking you anymore. We just say thank you if at all you have to thank somebody. Number two, earlier, I remember when I was younger, we used to write thanking you for every letter. Whether it's a thanking letter or not, we still would write thanking you. But nowadays, unless it's a thanking letter, we don't write thank you. Okay? With warm regards before signing off. Now, examples. The concluding lines for a job application may be, I will be readily available for a personal interaction anytime as per your convenience in case my candidature is considered for the aforesaid post. So, the declaration sentence as a conclusion can be memorized. That will help you greatly to write letters without a mistake. The concluding lines for a letter of complaint may be worded as follows. It's apparent from the condition of the machine that it is a defective piece. Since the machine is in the guarantee period, I would like it to be replaced with a new one, but of the same model at the earliest. This is what I call as an assertive sentence where you don't give any choice to the person who's made the mistake. You say that it's a defective piece, that it is well within the guarantee period, and that it has to be replaced with a new one of the same model, and then at the earliest. See how many things goes into it. So one is the machine is defective. 2 is it's in the guarantee period. 3 is it should be replaced with a new one. 4, it has to be of the same model. 5, it has to be done at the earliest. 5 different things and just one sentence. Okay. Now, complementary clause. A complimentary clause is the term prior to your signature in a letter. This sign-off phrase shows your respect and appreciation for the person who is considering the request in your letter. The following options are all good ways to close a formal letter. Yours respectfully, sincerely, truly, yours with appreciation. So, yes, who's saying that? Ombati, all this was done in the morning session. I know it too well. Now I'm calling out from the study material itself, because morning session had a video to suggest good language. It also had the format plus plenty of language inputs to use while you write a letter. Now this is from your study material, because some of these samples when I showed you in the PowerPoint, I also said please refer to your study material, and therefore I'm showing you the study material itself, going through it one by one so that it's easy for you. When you read, you will just know that this is what we have done. Okay, so with appreciation, with sincere appreciation, with sincere thanks, all that. Now, types of business or official letters. Look at this. Letter of inquiry. A letter of inquiry is the most important type of business letters. These letters are written to gather information about various sources, about people seeking jobs, prices of services and products. They help the receiver decide whether they should give jobs and promotions, grant credits, or enter into contracts. They may also be written to third parties asking for information about jobs or about organizations wishing to build a business relationship. When writing a letter of inquiry, you should give a brief introduction about yourself, say who you are, with the name of your organization. Provide the details about the subject of inquiry. The purpose of repeatedly repeating is to drive in you the important things, to highlight what's really important. Okay? Provide the details about the subject of inquiry. Present queries in bullet points if you require a lot of information. Mention the deadline by when you require the information. Okay. Now the sample. Here goes the sample. You have the from address, the date, then the to address. And here it says, Dear Mr. Khan. We didn't do this in the morning. This is about inquiry about catering services. With reference to your advertisement. So as I said, the prepositions and the pronouns are very important. With reference to your advertisement dated, we wish to inquire about your catering services. Our organization is celebrating its 50th foundation anniversary in the coming month, and we are looking for somebody who would cater for a celebration dinner. We are expecting at least 500 guests and employees during the said event. It will be a formal event, and we will need full catering services that include several courses, desserts, and waiters and hosts. So you have to explain, you have to list the things that you are looking for. So kindly provide us with the details about the following. So whether your catering service has the ability to handle a lavish celebration with a large audience such as ours, whether waiters and hosts are provided by you, offers and discounts available, the menu options and charges, if there are any additional charges levied for linens, centerpieces, etc. We shall be grateful if you could furnish the above mentioned details along with your quotations as soon as possible. So morning what we saw was a very rough outline of all that is said here. But what we are seeing now is a detailed version of the chapter in the study material so that you don't forget whatever we've learned. Now then you say thank you, yours sincerely, and Sadhana, Administrator, Zest Designs. Okay. Now order letters. Now let's look at the order letters. An order letter is written by a buyer to the seller requesting him to deliver goods. These letters include three major types of information. Details about the item or product being ordered, complete information and specifications of the goods ordered must be provided in an order letter. Such information includes the following: name of the product, the brand, the unit price, quantity, order specification, such as catalog number, model number, color, size, weight, etc. if required. Information relating to shipping. Okay. In absence of shipping information, misunderstanding can arise between buyer and seller. Shipping information may include the following: desired receipt date, what is lines, centerpiece, linens. Linens are the cloth that they cover the table with. The centerpieces are, the frills that they put up. So those are centerpieces. So desired receipt date, desired shipping location, mode of shipping, rail, road, or waterways. Okay. Now, information relating to payment. What happens normally is when we say formal letter, the question is given and then they say, you're right, because all of us know and understand that formal letters start as early as class 3 and all of us are expected to know how to write a letter. But why are we doing it repeatedly like this? It is to instill in you, to reinforce whatever you should know pertaining to correspondence at the office space. Now, mode of payment, cash or check or draft, and then payment date. Now, let's look at the sample. School Kochi, that's 12th June, and the date is in full. Best Sports and Company, Mall Road, Chennai. The subject: placing an order for sports equipment. Dear Sir, as discussed telephonically, we wish to place a bulk order for the supply of the following sports equipments for our school. This is what I want you all to understand. Here you have 6 different goods mentioned. You don't have to waste so much time. It's just enough if you mention 3 different types of sports, because you will not be wasting time. So serial number, item, quantity, specifications, say basketball, football, badminton, net. We take just the first 3. Quantity and then specifications. Okay. Costco is the brand here. The above mentioned equipment should reach us latest by 15th July. You are requested to ensure that high quality products are supplied. So these are statements that you can add on. Say 1 or 2 sentences that explains what you are really expecting from them. The initial upfront payment of 20% is enclosed. So the upfront payment, that is paying even before you get the goods, is enclosed the check number, the amount number. As discussed telephonically, the balance payment will be made at the time of delivery in the form of a demand draft after adjusting the applicable discount. An early delivery would be appreciated. So you must add the statement so that it's easy for you. Yours sincerely, Matthews, principal, name of the product, brand. Now, essentials for an order letter. See, what happens is when you look into your study material, I have always said, say right from, since morning, that look into your study material for the sample letters. What is important is, you will just turn the pages and say, oh my God, letters, I know it all. No. You have to read it so that you understand really what's important while writing a letter. Now, letters of complaint. In the business world, where selling and providing services to fulfill needs of customers plays an important role, there will also be scope for complaints raised by customers due to several reasons. A letter of complaint letter enables us to notify an individual, company, or business that we are dissatisfied with a product purchased or a service received from them. A complaint letter can be written in an individual capacity or on behalf of a company. Writing a complaint letter is an effective and professional way to get the problems resolved. Now, while writing a letter of complaint, you should give a clear and detailed description of the problem you are facing and what you want done. Include important dates. It's imperative that you mention the date on which you placed an order, purchase the order, purchase the goods or services, and when the problem occurred. If you are following up on a previous complaint that you made, you may even need to include the date on which you made the first complaint. So that's the follow-up. Give details of what action you have taken up till now to solve the problem and what you plan to do if the problem is still not resolved. Ask for a response. Call for a response. Give the seller a reasonable time limit to respond to your request, but state with clarity that you expect a response from them. You have to tell them, please reply as soon as possible. Attach a copy of any supporting relevant documentation, such as a receipt or an invoice. Never make personal accusations or allegations. This we've already seen where I've said, don't name, don't be sarcastic. Avoid discussing any other concern besides the complaint issue. Now, sample complaint letter. The address is there, the date is in full. The general manager, you have to see that everything begins from the left-hand margin. And then, dear sir or madam, subject complaint against order number. So you have to say the order number, otherwise they will not respond. This is with reference to, is an important beginning. Order number made on December 1st. The order comprised 6 2-ton split air conditioners, XXX brand, and 4 1.5-ton window air conditioners of XYZ brand. As per the agreement, the products were to be delivered within 10 days of order and a representative was to be sent for installation and demo. Unfortunately, only half the order has been delivered and no representative has visited for installation or demo. The fact that you have taken undue time and have not yet delivered the order has caused us great embarrassment and inconvenienced our clients. You have to say what has happened. In addition, we have received no correspondence from your side explaining the delay. Kindly ensure that the remaining items of the order are delivered to us before December 20, failing which payment will be stopped on the order cancelled. Okay? So that is being assertive, where you say you better deliver it or the order stops, the order is cancelled. I sincerely request you to look into the matter and do the needful as soon as possible. Thanks and regards. Okay. So Ashita Bhargava, Senior Manager, Operations and Admin Department. Now tomorrow when we work out the question papers, you will see that how important it is to read the question paper well, because your answer must be very closely relevant to the question given. Suppose the question says Ashish Bhargava is writing a letter, is responding to a complaint letter, then you cannot write your own name or some other name. Okay, you have to use only Ashish Bhargava. And if the question says Ashish Bhargava, Senior Manager, Operations and Admin Department, you have to use the same designation. You don't have a choice. Okay, reply to a letter of complaint. So earlier we saw a complaint letter. Now we are going to look at the letter of complaint. Reply to the complaint. The way a firm or business responds to complaints and unhappy customers impacts its reputation more than most other things. Customer service has always been an important part of developing brand loyalty. With increasing competition in the market, it's becoming even more critical for companies to provide greater customer service. While responding to complaints made by customers, it's important that you address clearly and specifically the problems and issues brought up by the customer, acknowledge and apologize for any error that occurred on your end. Explain to the customer exactly what you plan to do or may have already done to resolve the problem. Assure the customer that he will never experience such problems in the future and propose how you will improve his experience. Customers do not accept vague responses to their complaints. You may even lose clients or customers if they feel that their complaints are being brushed off. Therefore, it is of extreme importance that you are very specific and clear while responding to letters of complaint. Now, here we go. Useful business English language. We have seen beginnings and endings of sentences. You also have a few more here. Why am I doing this now for you? You need to understand going through your study material will complement what your understanding, and you will never forget it forever. Okay? Now, accept the complaint or concern. That's very important when you respond to a complaint. We agree our usual high standard of service was not met in this instance. So this is exactly what we had in the PPT. We clearly did not meet your expectations. We take these concerns very seriously. We try to learn from these type of situations, and we thank you for your feedback, or your feedback will help us improve. Now, here is a sample. I did not put these samples in the PPT because I know the study material has it all. So the from address, the date in full, the to address, and the purpose of doing it here, like a detailed lesson, is to help you read and understand the way it should be done. Okay, dear Mrs. Bhargava, so the subject is reply to complaint against order number. So you see the order number is there. This is in regard to your order number, which you placed with our company on December 1st. The order comprised 6 2-ton split air conditioners of XXX brand and 4 1.5-ton window air conditioners of XYZ brand. We sincerely apologize to you for the delay in delivery of the product you ordered with us. Due to problems with supply from the manufacturer's end, the inconvenience has been caused to you. We are also flooded with a large number of unexpected orders this month, leading to this delay. So that whole paragraph is explaining why the delay happened. We are trying our best to minimize the delay as much as possible to reduce your trouble. We promise that your shipment will be delivered before December. So you give them a deadline saying, I will deliver it before this date. You have been a loyal and supportive client of our company for years, and we are grateful to you. As a small token of honor and as a mark of apology, we offer 10% discount to you on your next purchase order with us. You might be thinking, oh my God, I know all this. Why am I doing this now? Again, no. Maybe you seem to know when I'm reading it out to you. But when you write, you might miss out on all these essentials. And that's the reason why we are doing it in detail. Whenever you place your next order with our company, you can avail this discount on the final bill value. The final bill value. Look at the words, the vocabulary that's used. Okay, you can avail this discount. These are words that will make your letter really impressive. See, it says, let's look at the vocabulary in this letter, okay? We will start off with this one. We sincerely apologize, okay? This inconvenience has been caused. These are not difficult words, but most appropriate words. Then, we are trying our best to minimize the delay, to reduce your trouble. Okay, we promise you're a loyal and supportive client. Okay, you can avail this discount on the final bill value. To ensure that a similar problem does not occur in the future again, we have taken all precautionary steps. Once again, we apologize to you for the inconvenience caused to you. We would appreciate your support on this matter. So that's where it stops, where you do not give any room to the company to say no to whatever you're asking. Now look at this, promotion letters. So promotion letters have also got tested in one of the previous question paper, and therefore they become important. Promotion letters are not letters of promotion in an office. I don't want you all to mistake it that way. Promotion letters are projection letters where you project a project, where you highlight a project or a brand that you have to sell. That is what we mention here as promotion letters. The content refers to letters written to customers primarily to apprise them of some new development, like opening of a new branch, offers and deals extended by them, or new facilities available. They may even be used to inform customers of new schemes or upgradation from a normal to a privileged category, or to offer promotional discounts. How to write a promotional content? Now that's what we're going to see. Adhere to business English. Avoid fancy jargon. Text should be to the point and discuss only promotions. Personal topics should not be included. Subject should be clear and precise. Now, sample promotion letter. So here is a from address and then the to address. This is a letter written to customers as sales promotion letters. Now to and then dear sir. Okay. Subject, new branch at XYZ Nagar. We are happy to announce the grand opening of our bank's 100th branch in. So straight away, the very first statement says the purpose of the letter. That's how you need to write. Okay. As a privileged customer, we are pleased to offer you extra benefits for an account opening in the branch. The new branch has 3 ATM machines and locker facility in lieu of our long-term association. We would not charge you any fees for locker facility. Kindly visit the branch. Contact details are given below. Yours sincerely, Sudhir Kumar, branch manager. Okay. So that is a promotion letter where you say, this is what is happening. This is the purpose. Come avail of the discount. Okay. Now, next we move on to sales letters. I did not include these in the PPT simply because 1, the study material is complete. 2, these are important because you will be, questioned in your exam. Any of these letter types, you need to be prepared for that. And that's the reason why we're doing it. So sales letters, how do we do this? Sales letters are an important means of business communication and are written to publicize and ultimately sell a product or a service to the consumers. Benefits of sales letters: it helps in sales promotion. It helps in presenting an introductory offer. It helps in it strengthens business ventures and partnerships. It highlights the importance of customers. It makes it easy to understand facts and figures. Okay, how do we write a sales letter? Use a formal language. Okay, spoken English and slangs should be avoided. Salutations should be business-like. Content should be sales specific. Extra details or information should not be included. Just what you have to write. Personalized comments should not be included. Keep things short and crisp. For a new product launch, mention its features, uses, and benefits. Pay attention to the target audience. Each letter might need a different phrasing. So it's not one letter type for all. Each letter needs to be differently done. Now, sample sales letter. Let's look at the sample. So you have the from address, the date, and the to address, and then it says, "Dear sir, I would like to take the opportunity to thank you for your business with our organization. It has always been a pleasure working with you." See, that's a nice sentence. I would like to inform you that the 1,800 units of machinery ordered will be delivered as per the mutually decided date. In addition, our experts would come to install the machinery and give a detailed demo of its working. We would also provide a free service for the next 2 years taking care of any wear and tear on the product changed. The product has a 2-year warranty period. For any other query regarding the machinery ordered and its functioning, please feel to contact me. We would be happy to serve you at the earliest. So thank you. Yours sincerely, Mr. Khan, Senior Manager, Sales and Marketing. Okay, and the phone number. Okay, now we move on to recovery letters. I have an interesting video to share with you. So just give me. After this, we will go to the video watching. Okay, recovery, because these have got to be done this way. So from the beginning, inquiry letter, order letter, complaint letter, response to complaint, promotional letters, sales letters. Now we have recovery letters. Use polite language as in a gentle reminder. Accusatory or threatening language should be used only when things are beyond control. State the reason for your dispute, error, or payback. State the legal action that could be taken. Do not use official recovery letters to vent out personal enmity or hatred. They cannot be personal enmity. Keep the language formal and business oriented. Okay, now let's look at a sample recovery letter. So the from address, the date in full, the to address. Dear Mrs. Ved Lakshmi, subject pending dues. Just the 2 words. This letter is a gentle reminder for the payback of the loan amount of rupees 4 crores that your company have taken from our bank in June last year. It's a long sentence, but complete. It's a complete sentence. As per the loan guidelines, on completion of 12 months, you would need to pay back the loan with appropriate interest. As the payment is due since long, we would appreciate if you send the check immediately. Every word is a chosen word, especially with recovery letters, filing complaints. Your wordings have got to be really, really effective. And here, if I look at the keywords, it says gentle reminder, payback of the loan amount, then you would need to pay back the loan with appropriate interest. Okay, then we would appreciate if you send the check immediately. These are effective words that will make the letter really worthwhile writing. I request you to kindly do the needful within the next 6 working days. Look at the words that you need to check within the next 6 working days, failing which strict legal action will be taken. Kindly acknowledge the receipt of the letter. All this in active voice, stating what the person needs to do. Thank you. Yours sincerely, Anil Jain, Manager. Okay. Now, finally, you need to be careful about, these are things that I already did showed in the PowerPoint. Never send a nasty letter. Avoid the following: name calling, sarcasm, insults, threats, anger, unflattering, clip art, immediate, type fonts. So here it goes, and that's about letter writing. Now, give me a minute. I will share, just a minute. I'll share a good video which will give you enough inputs for writing a business letter well. Just give me a minute. That was at one full length that we went through the chapter in the study material. Just give me a minute. I'm just getting the link so that we are able to watch this video. Just give me a minute. Yeah, and here we are. Just a minute, just a minute. Just give me a minute. Oh, where are we? Yes. Yeah, here I will share with you. Now, sharing a video with you is not just for you to watch it like a movie or a picture model. You have to have your pen and paper by your side to note down for future reference whatever will be useful for you. Now, what are we going to do now? I will share the video with you. You may copy the link. Note down things that you feel will be important for you to remember when you write letters. That's number 2. Number 3, after you watch, I'll play the video twice. After you watch, I want you to post in the chat box. First step, you will copy in your notebooks. Second step, you will post in the chat box the useful language that you have learned, that you've been exposed to, because that is what will let me know that you have understood all that we have said. Okay, so here we go. Let me know if you can hear it. Oh, so this is just a 3-minute video, and I will play it twice for you. Just give me a minute. Yeah, this is a sample letter. Yes.
Business letters are a great way to present your message in a classic, polished style. In addition to being formal and structured, business letters are also quite versatile, as they can be used for official requests, announcements, cover letters, and more. While there are different ways to format your letter, block format is one of the most common. Block format keeps the text left justified and single-spaced, with double spaces between paragraphs and different sections. This layout keeps the letter simple and legible. The first section of a letter is the opening. As you start your letter, include your mailing address, the full date, and the recipient's name, company, and address. When you greet the recipient in the salutation, use "Dear" along with their title and last name. If you don't know the recipient's title, use their full name instead. Also add a colon to the end of your greeting. In the first paragraph of the body, introduce yourself and your main point. Following paragraphs should go into the details of your main point, while the final paragraph should restate the letter's purpose and provide a call to action if necessary. For a formal closing, use "sincerely," or for something more personal, try using "cordially" or "best regards." Whatever you choose, end your closing with a comma. For the signature, skip 4 lines after your closing and type your name, job title, and company name. If you're submitting a hard copy, sign your name in the empty space using blue or black ink. And if you're enclosing any documents or items, skip 4 lines after the signature and list them here. Knowing how to write a business letter will serve you well throughout your career. Keep on practicing, and you'll soon be communicating in a classic style.
Okay, so
Goodwill Community Foundation
yeah, I have one more to share with you. So this was about the format. Even today, plenty of adults in offices make mistakes with the format of a letter, although this is so very important for you. Okay, there's a reason why repeatedly, because me being a teacher, I've seen in classrooms how difficult it is for candidates to understand that this is the right format. Well, a sentence is like, I look forward to hearing from you soon. It's a statement you can just memorize and write. Your letter will not have a mistake. It's not for scoring well. It's for your jobs, your job security, where people understand that your language is very effective and your job depends on your effective communication. So just give me a minute. I will share one more video with you, because here there was not much for you to make notes. This was just a very small one. Just give me a minute. Oh my God. Just give me a minute and I will be there. Just a minute. Yeah, here we are, and yes. Just a minute, and then we'll do a few sample letters so that it's easy for you. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Yes. And in a letter writing is an easy thing, you all know. But what is very important is the kind of words, the kind of expressions you use, and the purpose of the letter itself. So that's what makes your letter interesting, right? Oh, just a minute. It's still going. So when you look for, when you look for YouTube clippings, you need to check whether it's from authentic sources. That's what will make it interesting one and useful also. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Here it is. I'm going to share this view. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Yeah, here we are. So this is about writing a letter. I want you all to note down and then also post in the chat box whatever you learned from the video. Right? Here we go. I think I'm sharing the audio and the video also with you. Just give me a minute. Yeah, it's there. Yes.
You need to
Just
write
post an
at
S if
least
it's
150
the video is
words.
there.
In this lesson, you'll see how to
Super,
plan
Divisha.
and
I like
write
it.
an effective general Task 1 IELTS answer.
Your neighbor has been making a lot of noise recently, and this has been causing you problems.
See, this is a
In
variety
the general
of
IELTS writing exam,
This is a variety of writing tasks. You also have the letter. This is important in the sense it gives you enough language inputs to use. And here we go. Please note in your notebooks whatever you feel is important, you need to know and you need to use in your exams. Right? Just give me a minute. Yeah. Yes, Ankit. Yes. Now here you can watch this video and make notes, and then you will also post in the chat box, right? Whatever you've learned.
Task 1 usually involves writing a letter. Usually, you have to do 3 things in your letter. You have 20 minutes, and you need to write at least 150 words. In this lesson, you'll see how to plan and write an effective general Task 1 IELTS answer. You'll learn simple strategies you can use to write a better answer and improve your IELTS writing score.
Let's start by looking at a sample question. Your neighbor has been making a lot of noise recently, and this has been causing you problems, and you want to ask them to stop. Write a letter to your neighbor. In your letter, ask for an explanation for the noise, explain the problems this has caused you, say what will happen if the problem is not solved. Pause the video if you want more time to look at the question.
Let's begin by looking at what you need to think about before you write.
Do you want to write a book but don't know how to get started or don't have time? Do you have a life full of wisdom, experience and skills?
Yeah.
Planning for IELTS General Task 1 answers is easier than for other IELTS writing tasks. All General Task 1 questions have the same structure. This means that your answer can have the same structure every time. The question asks you to do 3 things.
Each point can go in its own paragraph. So your answer will have 3 short paragraphs, like this. Then, you need a short introduction. For this question, you can just write a single sentence to explain why you're writing, like this. I am writing to complain about the noise levels coming from your apartment in recent weeks. The introduction might be different in other tasks. For example, if you're writing to a friend, you'd write something much simpler.
There is one more thing you need to think about when planning. Tone. When we say tone, we mean how formal or informal your letter should be. Task 1 of the General IELTS writing exam is the only place where tone is clearly mentioned in the scoring scheme. You need to write in an appropriate tone, and your tone needs to be consistent. What tone do you think you need here? Should your letter be formal, neutral, or informal?
Probably your letter will be somewhere between neutral and formal. You're writing to your neighbor, so you don't need to be incredibly formal, but you're also writing to complain, which adds formality. In our experience, one of the most common mistakes with Task 1 answers is not getting the tone right. Either candidates choose an inappropriate level of formality, or they mix different levels in the same answer. Both of these mistakes will hurt your score. So, before you write anything, think about how formal your letter should be. Now, you have a plan. Let's write our first paragraph.
Look at the beginning of a letter. Dear Emily, how's it going? I'm actually writing because I have some issues with noise coming from your apartment. I would like to demand an explanation for the noise levels. I mean, what on earth are you doing that's so noisy? I can hardly have a conversation with someone sitting next to me because it's so loud. Please inform me what is occurring. Pause the video if you want more time to look at the answer. Think about whether this is good or whether it needs some work.
There's a problem with this beginning. Do you know what it is? The problem is tone. As you heard before, it's a common mistake to mix formal and informal language. Here, you can see very formal sentences like, I would like to demand an explanation for the noise levels. You can also see more informal language like, I mean, what on earth are you doing that's so noisy?
The start of the letter also mixes different levels of formality. Writing, how's it going, is a more informal way to start a letter or an email. But if you're writing to complain, you would almost certainly need to use a more neutral or formal tone. To get a high score in the general IELTS writing exam, you need to write in a consistent tone. If you want to practice, think about how you could improve the answer you saw before. You can pause the video and start again when you're ready.
Let's see how you could improve this answer. Pause the video if you need more time to read. You can see that we've got rid of some of the more informal language, like, how's it going? This is also better because it's consistent without being too formal. Our original answer included very formal language, like, please inform me what is occurring. You don't get more points for being more formal. You get a high score by writing in an appropriate and consistent tone. Next, let's continue by thinking about use of language in your answer.
Task 1 of the General IELTS Writing Exam is the simplest of all the IELTS writing tasks. This is an advantage, but it also means you need to think carefully about using a wide range of language. Let's look at this by adding another paragraph to our model answer. This situation is having a bad effect on my entire family. I have been unable to sleep because of the loud noises, even late at night. My son complains that he cannot do his homework. Even our dog has been behaving oddly. She's not eating well and has no energy. This is a good paragraph, and the use of language is already good. However, to get higher scores, you would need to use a wider range of language.
Let's do two things here. First, look at the 5 underlined words and phrases. Can you change these words and phrases to make them more detailed and more specific? Think about it. You'll see some possible answers in a minute. Your second job is to take 2 sentences and combine them into a more complex sentence. There's more than one way you can do this, so find an idea which makes sense to you. Think about your answers now. Pause the video if you need more time.
Ready? Let's look. You can see that you don't need to make big changes. A lot of students think that you need to use a lot of very academic language to get high scores in IELTS. You don't. To get high scores, even band 9, you need to use a range of language with flexibility and precision. That might include academic language in some cases, but for a letter, that wouldn't be appropriate.
Collocations are very important for your IELTS vocabulary score. Using collocations like sleep properly, noise levels, lose your appetite, or focus on your homework will boost your vocabulary score. For grammar, we simply connected 2 sentences with a conjunction while. This adds variety to the sentence structures, which will also help your score. At this point, you need to write one more paragraph. Here, you're going to see how you can connect your ideas more effectively.
So, you want to study in Canada? Go to leapscholar.com. Click on sign up and answer some questions.
There's a common problem we see with IELTS writing in our students. Students often plan each paragraph separately. Then they write each paragraph as a separate unit, and the paragraphs don't have much connection to each other. This will hurt your score. 25% of your score is for coherence and cohesion. To get a higher score for coherence and cohesion, your writing needs to have a clear progression. That means it needs to have a clear beginning, middle, and end.
Let's look at the final paragraph, which doesn't handle this well. I must ask you to reduce the amount of noise you make and try to keep quiet during the evening when we are at home. If you continue making noise at these levels, I will have no choice but to make a noise complaint to the police and/or to the city council. Regards, Samira. Pause the video if you want more time to read the paragraph. This is not bad, but it doesn't include any links or references to the other points you made in the letter. It also lacks a concluding phrase, which could provide a strong, clear end to your letter.
Let's see how you could improve this. Can you see what's changed? Pause the video to read. There are 4 changes. First, we made a reference to the first paragraph. Then, we added a reference to the second paragraph. We also provided repetition by adding a reference to this situation instead of talking about noise levels again. Finally, we added a concluding phrase.
And you finished. Practice these steps and ideas, and you should be able to get a high score in Task 1 on the General IELTS exam.
Here's the question.
How to answer Task.
Okay, so I will play it again, but before I do that, I want you to post in the chat box what are the 4 important things that they spoke about while writing a formal letter. One is the format they started off with. What are the other 3? Quickly post to the chat box, and I'm going to wait for you, say maybe for 3 minutes. Post to the chat box 3 or 4 steps that they said are really, really important, which we haven't discussed in the morning session. Quick. Okay. Neutral language. That's a good one. Who's this? Uh-oh. Yeah. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'm waiting for you. Yes, here we go. This is IUT. Yeah, IUT. Don't use rude one. Improve grammar. Link your idea. Yes, but they use certain terms, right? Just as you said, neutral language. There are other things that you need to remember when you write a formal letter. Let me see how many of you have noticed that, and then I would tell you what they are. Quick. Yeah, neutral language, yes. Tone and vocabulary, yes. This is Sarvesh, Jayanti. Tone should be consistent. You see, they showed you the difference between a formal language and an informal language. You cannot mix them up in a formal letter. You have to be consistent in your tone. What is the tone? Yeah, that's a good one. So neutral language, consistent tone, then quick. Yeah, so Kushagra mentions good vocabulary. Yes, that's important. and they showed you how vocabulary can be substituted, how you can use alternate words to make your letter more interesting and effective. Yes, what else? Quick. Use words, regards. Quick, I want more of you. I'll give you 2 more minutes. Quick. Waiting for you. Okay, now what I will do is, I'll play the video again, and I want you to note, actually this is a formal letter, but not a business letter. Business letters is what we've seen from the morning. Now what I will do is, I'll play the video again. I want you to note down such points that will help you remember how to write. This is not only just for your business letter, it's also for other writing tasks. Okay, replace word in paragraph. Yes, first you might write very simple words, but then you think of it, you will get better words. Yes, adding references, purpose of the letter, good vocabulary, grammar, conclusion. Yes, that is Ombati. Yes, I want more of you to post in the chat box. I see very few repeatedly writing. Okay, now what I'm going to do is play this again for you. The content of the letter is not so important because that's a different kind of letter which does not come into our study material. But what is important here is the kind of stipulations, the kind of format, the kind of rules, the kind of letter that we need to write in a business letter. That's what is important, and that's the tips they are giving you. So I'm going to play it again for you. You will watch carefully and then note down, yes, wide range of words, good vocabulary. Yes, that's Ankit. Yes. So I'll play it again. I want you to watch very closely and take down notes that will help you for your future reference. And here we go.
Task 1 on the IELTS General Writing Exam.
In the General IELTS Writing Exam, Task 1 usually involves writing a letter. Usually, you have to do 3 things in your letter. You have 20 minutes, and you need to write at least 150 words. In this lesson, you'll see how to plan and write an effective General Task 1 IELTS answer. You'll learn simple strategies you can use to write a better answer and improve your IELTS writing score.
Let's start by looking at a sample question. Your neighbor has been making a lot of noise recently, and this has been causing you problems, and you want to ask them to stop. Write a letter to your neighbor. In your letter, ask for an explanation for the noise, explain the problems this has caused you, say what will happen if the problem is not solved. Pause the video if you want more time to look at the question.
Let's begin by looking at what you need to think about before you write. Planning for IELTS General Task 1 answers is easier than for other IELTS writing tasks. All General Task 1 questions have the same structure. This means that your answer can have the same structure every time. The question asks you to do 3 things.
Each point can go in its own paragraph. So your answer will have 3 short paragraphs, like this. Then, you need a short introduction. For this question, you can just write a single sentence to explain why you're writing, like this. I am writing to complain about the noise levels coming from your apartment in recent weeks. The introduction might be different in other tasks. For example, if you're writing to a friend, you'd write something much simpler.
There is one more thing you need to think about when planning. Tone. When we say tone, we mean how formal or informal your letter should be. Task 1 of the General IELTS Writing Exam is the only place where tone is clearly mentioned in the scoring scheme. You need to write in an appropriate tone, and your tone needs to be consistent. What tone do you think you need here? Should your letter be formal, neutral, or informal?
Probably your letter will be somewhere between neutral and formal. You're writing to your neighbor, so you don't need to be incredibly formal, but you're also writing to complain, which adds formality. In our experience, one of the most common mistakes with Task 1 answers is not getting the tone right. Either candidates choose an inappropriate level of formality, or they mix different levels in the same answer. Both of these mistakes will hurt your score. So, before you write anything, think about how formal your letter should be. Now, you have a plan. Let's write our first paragraph.
Look at the beginning of a letter. Dear Emily, how's it going? I'm actually writing because I have some issues with noise coming from your apartment. I would like to demand an explanation for the noise levels. I mean, what on earth are you doing that's so noisy? I can hardly have a conversation with someone sitting next to me because it's so loud. Please inform me what is occurring. Pause the video if you want more time to look at the answer. Think about whether this is good or whether it needs some work.
There's a problem with this beginning. Do you know what it is? The problem is tone. As you heard before, it's a common mistake to mix formal and informal language. Here, you can see very formal sentences like, I would like to demand an explanation for the noise levels. You can also see more informal language like, I mean, what on earth are you doing that's so noisy?
The start of the letter also mixes different levels of formality. Writing, how's it going, is a more informal way to start a letter or an email. But if you're writing to complain, you would almost certainly need to use a more neutral or formal tone. To get a high score in the General IELTS writing exam, you need to write in a consistent tone. If you want to practice, think about how you could improve the answer you saw before. You can pause the video and start again when you're ready.
Let's see how you can improve this answer. Pause the video if you need more time to read. You can see that we've got rid of some of the more informal language, like, how's it going? This is also better because it's consistent without being too formal. Our original answer included very formal language, like, please inform me what is occurring. You don't get more points for being more formal. You get a high score by writing in an appropriate and consistent tone. Next, let's continue by thinking about use of language in your answer.
Chris here from IELTS Advantage, and if you need a band 7, 8 or even 9 in your IELTS writing,
Task 1 of the General IELTS writing exam is the simplest of all the IELTS writing tasks. This is an advantage, but it also means you need to think carefully about using a wide range of language. Let's look at this by adding another paragraph to our model answer. This situation is having a bad effect on my entire family. I have been unable to sleep because of the loud noises, even late at night. My son complains that he cannot do his homework. Even our dog has been behaving oddly. She's not eating well and has no energy. This is a good paragraph, and the use of language is already good. However, to get higher scores, you would need to use a wider range of language.
Let's do two things here. First, look at the 5 underlined words and phrases. Can you change these words and phrases to make them more detailed and more specific? Think about it. You'll see some possible answers in a minute. Your second job is to take 2 sentences and combine them into a more complex sentence. There's more than one way you can do this, so find an idea which makes sense to you. Think about your answers now. Pause the video if you need more time.
Ready? Let's look. You can see that you don't need to make big changes. A lot of students think that you need to use a lot of very academic language to get high scores in IELTS. You don't. To get high scores, even band 9, you need to use a range of language with flexibility and precision. That might include academic language in some cases, but for a letter, that wouldn't be appropriate.
Collocations are very important for your IELTS vocabulary score. Using collocations like sleep properly, noise levels, lose your appetite, or focus on your homework will boost your vocabulary score. For grammar, we simply connected two sentences with a conjunction while. This adds variety to the sentence structures, which will also help your score. At this point, you need to write one more paragraph. Here, you're going to see how you can connect your ideas more effectively.
There's a common problem we see with IELTS writing in our students. Students often plan each paragraph separately. Then they write each paragraph as a separate unit, and the paragraphs don't have much connection to each other. This will hurt your score. 25% of your score is for coherence and cohesion. To get a higher score for coherence and cohesion, your writing needs to have a clear progression. That means it needs to have a clear beginning, middle, and end.
Let's look at the final paragraph, which doesn't handle this well. I must ask you to reduce the amount of noise you make and try to keep quiet during the evening when we are at home. If you continue making noise at these levels, I will have no choice but to make a noise complaint to the police and/or to the city council. Regards, Samira. Pause the video if you want more time to read the paragraph. This is not bad, but it doesn't include any links or references to the other points you made in the letter. It also lacks a concluding phrase, which could provide a strong, clear end to your letter.
Let's see how you could improve this. Can you see what's changed? Pause the video to read. There are 4 changes. First, we made a reference to the first paragraph. Then, we added a reference to the second paragraph. We also provided repetition by adding a reference to this situation instead of talking about noise levels again. Finally, we added a concluding phrase.
And you finished. Practice these steps and ideas, and you should be able to get a high score in Task 1 on the General IELTS exam.
Here's the question for you. What did you find most difficult in Task 1 of the General IELTS writing exam? Please let us know in the comments.
You can see.
Okay, so and that's about, okay, the important aspects of letter writing itself. Yeah, so now quickly post in the chat box. What are the format is important. Apart from the format, what are the other important things that you need to remember while you write an official letter? A letter at the workplace or a letter for business correspondence. Quick. I'm going to wait for 5 minutes. Very quickly. You will post the chat box. What are the important things other than the format that you need to remember? Quick. Yeah, precision is required. Explain why you're writing. Yes. Yes, using good phrases. Quick, I'm waiting for you. Yeah, wide range of vocabulary, reference, use of collocation. Who says that? Yes, Jayanti, you're right. Tone of language, okay? Consistency in the tone, that is important. Linking ideas, yes, super. Come on, fast. Yeah, I'm happy that you noted the right keywords. Quick. The concluding phrase, coherence, yes, good vocabulary, short introduction, tone of word between formal and neutral. We should not mix the formal and informal tone. Take care. Yes, proper usage of vocabulary. Yeah, purpose of the letter. Yes, quick. Come on, fast. Yes, collocations. Collocations are, you must have done it in the vocabulary chapter. Collocations are fixed expressions. Okay? We can say long hair, not tall hair. We can say strong traffic. We can say strong coffee. We cannot say heavy coffee. Okay? We can say heavy traffic, but not strong traffic. So these are called collocations, fixed expressions that are already fixed. If you can have a range of these collocations in your mind, it'll be easy for you to write coherently. You will have fluency and you'll have accuracy. Yeah, quick. Yeah. Okay. So now, yeah, quite a few have responded really well, but I would like to have almost all of you posting in the chat box so that we know that we are on the same page and that you followed whatever has been done in the class. Okay. Now, what did you learn in these 2 sessions today? What did you learn? What will you remember? And how did you like it? So these are 3 questions that you will answer now. And I want each one of you to post. That's important. Let me repeat the questions. What did you learn in these 2 sessions? What will you remember? What did you like? And you can also feel free to ask me any doubts if you have. Yeah, yes. Who's this? Yes, Priyanka, I've received all the answers, but some names I called out when they were very, very good. Others have just gone through. Okay, so now you will post in the chat box answers for 3 questions. One is, what did you learn? What will you remember? What did you like in today's 2 sessions? Very quickly, and I'm going to wait for you. I think you will post all the 3 answers at a time so that I know how many of you have posted. 3 answers. 1 is what did you learn? 2 is what will you remember? 3 is how did you like the session? Quick. Yeah. Yes, Bala. Yes, Priyanka. Quick. Yes. This is Sarvesh. Yeah. Lankit. Quick. I'm waiting for each one of you to post your feedback because tomorrow's session will be based on the feedback that you give today so that we tailor to make the lectures really, really effective for you. Quick. Come on, fast. Yeah. This is Priyanka. Okay. This is Barna. This is Diyashri. Yes, Diya. Yeah. Kushagra. Yeah. Quick. Okay. This is Priyanka. Oh, why? Priyanka again and again. Okay. This is Ayushi. Yeah, Bala Sinjanakshi. Memo has not been tested so far. And therefore, of course, I did show you the format and I told you how to write it, but didn't do it from the study material because the pages that I have in the study material didn't have the memo, and therefore I didn't show that to you. Circular was tested once. We will look into the question papers tomorrow. We will do quite a few of them. Come prepared to, write letters so that I'm able to check your errors. That's when you will get to learn what's right and what's wrong. Simply by my lecture, you might say, oh yeah, I learned this all. But only when you write, you really process the learned thing. Okay, this is Ombati. Okay. Priyanka. Then Ombati. Okay, Mayur. Yeah. We have 10 papers on the ICAI website, and we will do as many as we can tomorrow. Yeah, waiting for you. This is Jayanti, yes. Then Dilisha, oh yeah. This is Barna, yeah, Barna, I already, yeah, yes. Bala Sanjana Lakshmi, right? Yeah. Quick, I want the others because I see so many participants, but very few are responding regularly. Quick. Yeah, this is Ankit. Yeah, Ankit had already written, right? Quick, the others. Yes, the comments are saved. People will look into it. Yeah, that's good, Sarvesh. Yeah. Yeah. Where are the others? The same names have got repeated, right? It's Dilisha, Ankit, Bhumika, Mayur, Sabreen, Ombati, Jayanti, Raveen, Ayushi, Bala, Sanjana Lakshmi, Ankit, Yashoda, Sarvesh, Priyanka, Kushagra, Diyashri, Mayur, Archana, Varna, Jayanti, Sonali, Samir, Yeah, Divyashri, Diyashri. Ayushi, I think I called out her name. Yeah, you fill the feedback form. Oh, okay. Okay, this is for Bala Sindhya Lakshmi. What I will do is tomorrow, 2 minutes, I will run through the PPT so that you take your screenshots if you want. And then, yes, and then we will start the session. And come prepared tomorrow, go through your notes for the kind of language you will remember to use in the letter so that you write good letters. And this is one way of finding out how you have processed the information that you have learned. Whether you will be able to use good language that will make your letter writing impressive, whether you've learned all the inputs that have been said here is what we will see tomorrow when you write your letters. So I want you to post in the chat box tomorrow question wise, because every question paper has a letter writing task. And as I said already, this is for 5 marks. So checking your writing will help you understand how to better your writing. And that's what we're going to do tomorrow. And I'm waiting for all of you to post your comments, answer these 3 questions. What did you learn? What will you remember? And how did you like the session? Feel free to ask me any question regarding letter writing so that you have a thorough idea of how to write a letter. Because the letter writing is a lifetime learning. You will be writing letters throughout your life for some reason or the other, maybe covering letter for applications with your resume, maybe letters to your bosses. If you're an entrepreneur, you write letters to your clients. So writing letters become an important part of office communication, and that's what we call as business English. And therefore, this topic is really, really, really important. Right? Yeah, I'm waiting for you. We have 5 more minutes to go, and I want your feedback before we close for today. And tomorrow, my session will be complete. I think I did 3 chapters. Yeah, 3 or 4. Right? So if you have any doubts, come prepared. Come prepared with questions so that we do the best together. Yeah. So remember that you need to be consistent in your tone. Can't mix up formal and informal. When it's a formal letter, you need to be very, very formal about it. Then about the neutral tone, then about the collocation, then about the linkers. Linkers which will link, one with the other. Linking words, linking sentences, linking paragraphs, linking the whole letter. So using ly words are good linkers. For example, substantially, in conclusion, okay, finally, right? These are linkers, however, that will help you define your paragraphs and your writing. And a range of vocabulary to pick and choose the most effective words and phrases. Quick, and I'm waiting for you. Yeah, are we done? So, see you tomorrow and bye-bye until then. Yes. Come prepared, go through your notes so that you write good letters and you go confident for your exams. And bye until then. See you tomorrow. Yes, Partha.